structures on the bottom of that area as well, but the fire is burning away from them. Tilt up a little bit, Kevin, and push in. There are some big homes down along this street here, and a big loom up right there. Push into that, and we'll see on SkyMap 7 if it brings it up the street that it's on. But you can tell, boys, that spreads to some of those homes. It is tricky, and ingress and egress is so tough in here. If it flips around to another street, I mean, just pull out a little bit, you can see what happens. There's no way to get out if this fire would loop around further to the south. So they really, those houses on the right side of your screen, I think that's Belterre. Boy, they really seem to be threatened. And push in right there. It looks like even to the south side of Belterre. Push right into that little loom up there. You go, that dark smoke we're seeing. Boy, this looks extremely dangerous to me, that it's surrounding some of these homes, and we don't see a whole bunch of structure protection in place for these houses quite yet. All right, the 405 northbound is shut down all the way by Olympic. They may have shut it down around Wilshire Boulevard. It was hard to tell for certain, but way to the south, the 405 north is closed. I think we have the report that the 405 north was open because what they did is they had a section of traffic, maybe several thousand cars, that they stopped on the 405, and then they finally got them through. So all of a sudden it looked like, hey, traffic is moving through. It was not. That was just a grouping of cars that had stopped, and then they ran a traffic break further south. They came north. Southbound side of the 405 is open now. It looks like a lane is blocked further north on southbound, one lane, a left lane, but you can get through. But it's slow going. I mean, usually the 405 at this location is moving pretty good. Everybody is slowing to look at the helicopters, to look at the smoke, and then Sepulveda Boulevard is shut down, so traffic is being forced onto Sepulveda. I want to come back off to the right, though, and show you those homes that are threatened, because that is critical. We could lose a home in there. I think that street was Belterre. It's further to the right. It's way down to the south there, Kevin. If you keep moving, and then you push right in there, right in the top of your screen where you see all that smoke, and you see fire on both sides. So it looks like Belterre to me. It's a cul-de-sac. I don't see a fire unit in there, but it looks like fire has spread to the brush on the south side. So really critical, this area, and then off Casiano, which would be on the east side of the fire. We're looking at the west side, and we're looking to the east, but you can see how smoky it is. Fortunately, Blake, I can't press this too much. We just don't have a lot of heavy winds in the area. If we did, we would be losing these homes. I'm pretty sure of that. No, it is not, and I'm not sure exactly what that facility is. You know, sometimes on SkyMap 7 we can actually bring up what that is. I'm not sure exactly what that facility is, but I do not believe that it is a school. Yeah, maybe you can read that. We're all the way in. Well, it may be Skirball, but it's much further south than what I think Skirball is. The Skirball Center is actually up by Mulholland where it crosses the 405. So maybe somebody will get us that, or they were able to read that. It could be part of Skirball, but it's away from the actual Skirball Center. But if you look to the right, those homes in there nestled, is there a home 133? You can see some of the addresses. Those addresses right in there. That's a real critical point for those homes. And once again, you know, right now the winds are fairly calm. I mean, they really are. It's a godsend that they are. A 40-mile-an-hour wind in here, and I think we'd lose a lot of homes on that street. I believe that's an accurate assessment. You know, you're chasing a fire in a 40-mile-an-hour wind. You're not always chasing a fire when you are looking at one in an area where you don't have those high winds. I mean, the wind-driven fire is so much more difficult to fight than what we're seeing here. They are getting structure protection in place. LA City is a phenomenal outfit as far as the equipment they have. They're hitting this very hard. You know, we're crossing overhead once again here, Philip, because we're going back to Castellano. We understand now, I believe, at 1377 Castellano, we may have a home on fire, and that's really what we were hoping would not happen. But that's why we're sort of giving you a shot that looks a little blurry. Come off Sky Map 7 right now. It's really difficult with the changes when you fly over the top of a fire with what the light does. But Castellano, they actually go back to Sky Map 7, should be right underneath. You see Castellano Road there, so it's going to be tilt up a little bit. We believe from a report that we just got that there, unfortunately, is a home on fire right in that area. So as we go a little further to the east, we might be able to peek underneath that if we can, and then actually see that home that's on fire. The report came in that it was 1377 Castellano, and it was fully engulfed. Bring up the addresses. Push into the Luma, right in there. Copy that, thanks. So we're looking, you can't bring up the addresses? 1377, look for 1377. I don't see it. I know, I wanted to see it. Go to the daytime view and bring it up if you could. Where's 13? There it is, 1377. All right, this is great. If we come back to us, I want to talk about that. Let's stay right here and just get off of the daytime view. We know where it's at. If the smoke clears, maybe we'll see something. You know, I don't see any black smoke in there, so I don't know if this is completely accurate. Okay. Yeah, great. Won't they take off full? We come back out to show them that Luma. We come back out, we can bring up the daytime view. And, oh, so he doesn't, okay. We can show a great shot. Get him to come to us. She's off Moraga. Oh, Jamal. That might be visible. Is it? No. Sky crane come off Stone Canyon already? Oh, there he is. Yeah, I see him. I know, 139. Is that a Black Hawk? Is that county ship or is that a... Okay. Come on up to 12 o'clock and pick up that Sky crane and watch his drop. Right there in the center of your screen. Push in. You can get rid of Sky Map, I think, for this. It's off to your right. Right there. Leo Bellick. Hold on. We haven't been able to see it exactly yet, Philip. We're going to go back to that because now we have two structures. I wanted to watch a Sky crane drop. They're so impressive. 2,000 gallons. Now, this is the northern edge of the fire that they're hitting right now with this drop, and they can get water off Stone Canyon Reservoir, which is, less than a quarter mile away to the east. So as far as access, push into the Sky crane real quick if you would. We should see a pretty impressive drop, and it is pretty incredible, and it's a frontline tool for putting these fires out. And this is something that we did not see in the Phillips fire. We did not see nearly the aerial attack that we're going to see today with both county fire, city fire, and some of the aircraft like this helitanker that is the Sky crane that is on contract. I want to go back though and just come along the entire stretch and show you that area. It looks like we're starting to get a better view of it, but when we bring up our daytime view, there's Cassiano right to the left side of your screen. Bring up Sky Map if you would for a moment, and we want to push right into the address. We understand 2 homes in there at 1377, so push into 1377, and now we'll come off that and we'll go to our shot from Air 7 HD, and it will show us exactly where those homes are. And you can see from time to time we get a little bit of a view, but the smoke is obscuring those homes most of the time. But we do understand now it was in the attic of 1377, and now it has spread to another home. And I mentioned that earlier. Once you get a house that takes off and those homes are so close together, that could be a structure right there. I'm not certain, but that flame you saw just coming through the smoke could actually be that structure because it lines up with what we saw on our daytime view. Once that happens, it's really tough to stop that from spreading to the other homes that are close by. So we're hoping that's not the case, but this certainly has the potential to take out a lot of homes on that street on Cassiano. I know. See if we can find that house. Well, there you go, push in. Hold on, JJ, please hold on. I'm sorry, Philip, we had somebody talking over you in the booth. Could you say again, please? Yeah, it's really quick. I would imagine from one drop to the next, maybe 5 minutes or even less. It is just a hop, skip, and a jump over to Stone Canyon Reservoir, and then right back over. And there is a lot of equipment on this. A sky crane, I've seen a County Fire Skyhawk. We got a couple of 139s, it looks like, from the city. That's the Augusta, the 412s. They're all making drops. I wouldn't be surprised if we have 6 or 7 aircrafts on this fire that's, probably about 100 acres. We keep looking for that home that may be on fire, and as soon as I'm done with this report, I think the booth had some more information for me on that. A lot of times what we'll see through the white smoke is thick black smoke once a home is fully engulfed. So fire crews are there. They're there with structure protection. They got down onto Cassiano very quickly, knowing the fire was heading in that direction. It wouldn't be a surprise if a fire did start in a home. They were able to knock it down before it destroyed that home. It really engulfed it and really caused problems for some of the other homes. But go to the left, Kevin, and push in once again. And what happens is with the smoke, from time to time, we start to see that area push right into those homes there, to the left or right in there, I believe. You can see the smoke move through. That's the area that we're concerned about. And there's some, that looked like black smoke. It's actually a tree. From time to time, we'll get a glimpse of it through the smoke. We haven't really seen it take off, so that is good news. JJ, go ahead. All right. Can you tilt up and check the 405 at the 101 real quick? Push in. 101 to the right. See if it's pushing. I just heard that. I'm double checking it. Come back out to the fire, please. Just loom up right off to our left. Keep going, keep going. Further left, I believe. Right in there. Right there. Sorry. Is that right up to that home? Is that what I'm seeing on SkyMap? Is this accurate as to what we're shooting? Is this the location or not? It's right next to that house then. Oh boy, yeah, thanks. They don't have these fires in New York. Yeah. One home. All right. Go ahead and tilt up because that's such a crappy shot. Go to the northern edge of the fire. There's, they've been making some drops there. Give me the name of that street up there. What does it say on Sky Map? It's really close to homes, unfortunately. Now, these homes, this is the east of Pulpit Fire Road. That's the Mountain Gate area. Those homes appear to me to be fine because the fire, you can see the wind is blowing it to the south. They want to come down the line. What happens is the picture gets pretty blown out this time of the morning, just the way the sun shines on the smoke. It's difficult to really give you a great picture, so we apologize for that a bit. But it's burning through this canyon, and as we continue to the south, we understand now from multiple reports that one house is fully engulfed, or at least partially on fire, 1377, and now another home next to that is on fire. And it's really interesting if we bring up, if we go to the right just a little bit, Kevin, and then bring up the daytime view if we can, that's right where the home is. It's right on the right side of your screen. That's Casiano, and at the end of Casiano are the homes that are in danger right now. You can see Moraga Drive on the bottom there. Those homes right down in that area are also threatened. They have to evacuate immediately. We'll come back out now to the live shot, and it lays down where that is, and it's difficult for us to get low enough to see in underneath the smoke because we'd interfere with the fire department, but they have a lot of resources on this. They're hitting it very hard. And just a note about the traffic, it looks like, and I was surprised it didn't happen earlier, to be honest with you. When I first got overhead, I said, they're going to shut it down in both directions. It just seems like what they would do as a precaution. And now they're going to do that. So the ripple effect, the PCH through Malibu is going to be a mess. The Ventura Freeway is going to be a nightmare. We've got that closure up on the 210. That puts added pressure on the 134. Now the 5 freeway is going to have to take some of that flow, and you can expect all of the freeways to just have additional hours in some cases, depending on how far your drive is, to get places. It is going to be a struggle. It is going to affect hundreds of thousands of people as far as their commute is concerned. We hope right down in there that we're not losing a home, but we continue to get these reports that at least one, possibly 2 homes are on fire. They definitely are. Yeah, we can't get low enough to see underneath there because we're at an altitude so that we don't interfere with their operation. But they are getting down in there. Now, they have strategies that, you know, I don't always understand, but they are the best strategies, trust me. Right now, they're doing a lot of water drops on the northern edge. Now, I see a sky crane coming into view. We may show you that in just a moment. And that may be going down towards Casiano Road. But it looks like most of the water drops have been made on the northern edge there. And you wonder why. Well, it's probably because they're worried about that going down the canyon and then back up towards homes on the other side of that ridge, because we know how fast the fire spreads once it's going uphill. Now, that's amazing what that aircraft can do. I mean, it's a phenomenal aircraft. To drop 2,000 gallons, I mean, just do the math, right? I think it's actually 2,500 gallons, which may be around 30,000 pounds. That is incredible, and that can do a lot of damage to the fire. But to answer your question, yes, they are getting the helicopters underneath the smoke and making the drops where they need to. But in some situations, depending on how thick the smoke is, they may not be able to drop right on the house they want to. I mean, that does happen from time to time. Not all of the aircraft are equipped with the ability to fly 0-0 through the smoke to make a drop. Only the ones with night vision, and I'm not sure exactly how they work that during daylight hours. So there's a lot of issues as far as the drop is concerned. We'll go back to the left and open up because it gives you an idea how big this is. And certainly I think we're approaching at least 100 acres, much more than the 50 acres that were mentioned. But it's that area off to the left on Moraga and Casiano that gives us most of the concern. We're going to bring up SkyMap 7 and show you that area. There's a daytime view, so we can push into that, but there's just SkyMap with the 405. There's our 1037 Casiano Road, and that's one of the homes that appears to be threatened. It was actually 1077 was the 1377 was the home in question, and that's off to the right. So we'll bring up the daytime view. It's just incredible, the technology. That's the area. So we believe all those people got out. There was plenty of notice to get out, a lot of smoke. The fire department, the police department, they got in here. They told people to leave. But those homes right there, we'll come back out to our Air 7 live shot. Those homes right there, we can't really see them, but they're in jeopardy. And if our reports are accurate, at least one, possibly two, have already been sparked and started on fire. Hold on. Yeah, you're absolutely right, and I believe that's the case, and one of the reasons I believe that's the case is when we see a home fully engulfed, we see thick black smoke, and we're not seeing that come up through the white smoke, which makes me believe more than likely they had a fire start in the attic. The units were there for structure protection. They got on it very quickly, and they saved the home. That would be my guess at this point. That's speculation. It's hard to tell for sure. We're looking through the smoke. But one of the big differences that we have going on, there's two actual huge differences what we have going on right here and what happened in the Thomas Fire. Number one is the Thomas Fire was so big, there were so many exposures. I mean, there were exposures everywhere from Santa Paula, a 14-mile stretch, all the way down to Ventura. So that means resources couldn't be focused into one pinpoint area. And the biggest factor is the winds. The winds for us are just a breeze. I mean, 10, 15 miles an hour out of the north and steady. That's fantastic. It's those swirling winds. It's those gusty winds, all of a sudden up to 40, 50 miles an hour, and winds that change directions. Now, that's a game changer as far as the battle is concerned. So they know which direction this fire is headed. We are right now optimistic, I would say, cautiously, that we have not lost any homes, even though there's been some scanner reports that a couple of homes have started on fire. And the conditions here are somewhat favorable, considering that we have so many resources in this area. Oh. Well, I think they will. I think they will use the super scoopers. They will be able to help a little bit. They're certainly not nearly as effective as the helicopters are, and when the super scooper comes in and makes a drop, they will move the helicopters out. As far as a tanker, I don't believe they're going to bring in a huge tanker and make a Phos-check drop, which is a retardant drop on this fire. I mean, if it really took off and we really had some growth, say out into the mountains towards the west, possibly. I don't see that on this fire. But to answer your question, I think the super scoopers will be able to have some effect on this fire, and with the fact that the winds have died down, I do believe that they will use them. I heard you, JJ, say that that house was right above the Jewish Center. Do you think we should go to the other side and try and see it from there? We couldn't earlier. Let's go across to the other side real quick. Let's go across to the other side real quick. We want to try and expedite across to the west side and see if we can see anything, and if not, come back. Very good. We'll keep it up. All right. Be careful when you talk to me, because lots of times you're talking to me, if you can, you need Philip's asking me a question. It completely interrupts the IFB, so I can't hear anything, but that's fine. I understand. We'll see what we can see here in just a moment, looking from the west side. Boy, they're taking their time on closing the 405. Still not shut down. Okay, you can see into Casiano there. Push in. You see it in there? Right in there. Push in. That's it. Okay, that's the, when they come back out to us, hopefully we can hold this. Those are the homes. Bring up the addresses, can you? Okay, great. 1377, that's that one right there. Keep sky map up, there you go. Try and get as steep as you can. Steep as you can to try and get that. Okay. Get rid of the glare. Yeah, Philip, we are just coming around to the other side, and this appears to be the structure. Let's see, that's 1377. You can see on the bottom of your screen on our sky map, that's Casiano Road, and that's the home that started in the attic, and now you can see it's going to spread from the attic. Just to the right, would you push in? Is that another home there at 1357? And push right in there if you would, tight. It looks like an outbuilding or another structure of some type, maybe a trailer. No, that looks like a home to me. And this is what we are really concerned about, because there is structure protection there. You see the water from the firefighters. Go back to the left there, if you would. There was another home. That one as at 1377. The roof is starting to be engulfed. A lot of smoke coming off of that roof. That means that entire home is going to go. That would be difficult to save. And then what happens, if you were with us earlier, those hot embers, all that furniture in there, everything you have inside a home, those embers seem to travel, get up underneath the next home's eaves, and then catch that house on fire. It starts in the attic, and it spreads to the home. So, I tell you, from the other side, we couldn't see this. It is sad to see this once again now in the Sepulveda Pass in the Bel Air area after seeing homes lost up in Ventura. I covered the fire seasons here since 1985. 93 was horrific, 400 homes in Laguna, 268 homes in Malibu. But this is reaching that type of destructive type year, if you will. I mean, we really are seeing just some sad, tragic incidences here with people losing property, their lives are disrupted. There's a water drop I think we might get right in this area. I think we might have a helicopter coming in. They will drop on the home from time to time. There's the ship right there. That is the Augusta 139. Dropped 600 gallons of water, and you can see they can make a pinpoint drop. And you can see it's much easier from this side than from the other side, because coming up that slope through the smoke would have made that really tough. Yeah, once a fire breaks through the attic and starts to do that, they'll get off of the roof unless they can ventilate it very quickly. There's too much of this house that's on fire for them to be able to save it. So they're going to go to a defensive stance here. Tilt up a little bit, though. I want to show you something. And you see that street? I mean, it is so difficult to get in here. There's a fire unit there, but you park a van or another couple vans in there, you get somebody who comes up in there and tries to get back to their house, and the fire crews can't get to these areas. And that's why they're telling you, boy, you get out and don't come back in a situation like this, because they won't be able to get the resources in here to save the homes, and then it's the domino effect. You lose this house, you start to lose the one next to it because it's so hot, it's so intense. It's much more intense than, say, a medium brush fire. And then you got these big trees next to the home. So right now it looks to me like that home is a total loss. Go down to the right a little bit, Kevin. There was another structure down there, and you might even be able to tell a little better than I, but that looks like a home to me, not an outbuilding. As we push in off of another street, I think that's below Cassiano. That appears to be another house or some type of outbuilding, and you can tell once they start to take off, they spread to the next. There are fire crews there, but there's an access issue. They're not right on top of it. It's a godsend. Once again, I've said this several times, we are so fortunate we do not have 30, 40-mile-an-hour winds, because we would lose a lot of houses in here, and that's a given if we have those type of winds today. Yeah. Absolutely. There's a strategy to that, and it wouldn't surprise me depending on where it could go. I don't know if you saw that for just a moment. Go back to the fire, but we're going to bring that in. It's difficult for our cameraman because he can't see it, but the Super Scooper is here. He just made a low flyby, and I think he's trying to get his bearings. What will happen when the airplanes come in, they'll have to move the helicopters out. You just can't mix the two, but it looks like, I believe I'm hearing, the Super Scooper is going to come in and make a drop, and it could be in this area. They're not nearly as effective as far as hitting a pinpoint spot as a helicopter, but they do drop a lot of water. I think it was around 1,600 gallons, if I'm not mistaken, and that can really help. But you're right, Philip. I believe that helicopter came in here and thought that's a lot of fuel. We're not going to drop on the house at this point. We're going to try and take out some of the fuel, but that structure there on the right, the bottom right, Kevin, really seems to be taking off. And you can tell they're trying to get water on it, but it's not all that easy. There are some access issues. That's 1367 on our sky map. It's difficult to tell. We can pull out a little bit and see if that is actually Cassiano. I'm not certain if it is. It's a little below. It is. They're telling me it is Cassiano as well. It's just a little below the main portion of the street. But now we have two homes on fire. Some of the smoke is cleared, and we're really getting an idea just how devastating this blaze is going to be. I'm assuming they are. Let's look around a little bit. I mean, we can do that with you. There's the street, so let's tilt down to the right. I don't know if I saw someone next to that light pole or not. It's just so smoky in here. Really hard to tell, but I mean, you see those flames on the bottom, and you see that house nestled right next to those flames. You see the fire units. You see a vehicle in front of them. You can see how narrow the streets are. So this is just really difficult. I think when we pull out once again, I don't see anybody walking around, Leslie. It looks like, and I'm sure, this fire is so close that I don't think anybody's going to look at this and say, I'm not leaving. In some areas, like I mentioned earlier, there's 4 or 5 streets in and out, and you figure, well, if anything happens, I'll just take off that way. This is not the case. If this jumps around, you could be trapped. I would imagine this area has been evacuated. The police are in here, the fire department's in here, and they're making sure everybody gets out. I think there's another helicopter coming in to make a drop. This is the critical area right now. Should be coming around here in just a moment, and we should see it fly into frame and make a drop. There's the Jewish Center on the bottom. We talked about that earlier. We didn't know exactly what it was. And there's the aircraft making the drop. Stay on the structure, Kevin. Try and keep a shot on the structure if you can. You copy? Kev? Go to the structure. Bring the addresses off for a moment. Push in. Push into those homes on fire. Everything's good. Got about an hour of fuel left, a little over. There's a good shot. Yeah, those are residents that are just crazy. Go back to the flame. You see him down there? You see the super scooper coming in? Well, it must have been on the other side. We don't see it on this side. Is that water shooting from there? Wow. Moving us out. Okay. All right. They want us further west and to 8,000, or just... Are they bringing in tankers? Yeah. Stay on that home on fire, Kev. Oh, okay, I got it. No problem, I understand. JJ? Whose camera had the super scooper make a drop? I'm assuming that was on the east side. Good. Okay, it wasn't one of ours. Yeah, absolutely. Tilt up a little bit, Kevin, and you can sort of see that when you see the road. That is Casiano, and there was an area where a couple of fire units came up, and they just couldn't go any further. I think we're going to lose at least a couple of houses with this fire, but it's dangerously close to other ones. There's another interesting aspect, you know, we want to, I'll mention this, but I won't go to it. They have not shut down the 405 southbound yet, and that gives you an idea. They said that about 15, 20 minutes ago. They're going to shut it down, a hard closure. Gives you an idea how difficult it is communication-wise and asset-wise to get something done. They're still working on that. It also gives you an idea that they're taking as many assets as they can, City Fire, from the Creek Fire and getting all their aircrafts here to try and make certain we don't lose any more homes. Now, the smoke is cleared a bit. We can push in a little better. It gives us an idea what is going on here. That home there, also off of Casiano Road, that appears to be a total loss. If we tilt up and go to the left, we did have firefighters actually battling that for a few moments. I don't believe they're still inside the home. And if we go to the left a little further to the end of Casiano, Leslie, you had asked me about residents. Have they all gotten out? I don't know if they're still there, but we had 3 or 4 of them just standing around a moment ago. Looks like they have left, so that is certainly good. But you can tell, if you're there and you haven't left, there's no room to get in your car and leave. You've got to walk out. And, boy, that can get extremely dangerous, treacherous, and someone could be killed if they get trapped in there. We have a lot of resources right now as far as firefighters in the area, but there's always that potential and that possibility, and this fire is really starting to take off. Once the roof goes, and once a structure collapses, boy, it just explodes. Once that roof collapses in on itself, we see the fire double or triple in its size, and I believe that's going to happen on both of the structures that we see here. I believe the address is 1377 Casiano. If we can bring that up on SkyMap where the address is once again, that would be the home in the middle of your screen, and then I believe that one is 1367. So we really feel for those folks. If you're watching, you have to watch your home burn, but hopefully you've got everything out that's really important, especially your pets. They did make a drop. How far we got to go? Yeah, here we go, I think. Well, we can tell you that it looks like both of those structures are a loss. If you just joined us, they are off of Cassiano, which is just to the east side of the 405, not far from the Jewish Center, right of the 405 freeway and north of Sunset. Now, our picture doesn't look as good as it did earlier. We're really having some access issues. What happened is air attack is up overhead, and usually they work pretty good with us, but they put us to an altitude that is going to interfere with the coast approach, and the approach is coming down into the valley and down in towards Los Angeles International Airport, so it's making it difficult for us to really work. One thing is, I can tell you the super scoopers have come in and made a drop, and I think air attack is up overhead because he's in charge of coordinating that. He's flying an airplane on what would be a third level, the level where the helicopter's down below, the super scooper's getting prepared to come in and drop, and then he's above them coordinating everything, and then we have to stay outside of that to make sure that it's safe and they can do their job. But we can tell you for certain they've lost a couple of homes. I'm looking out the window and you don't see it. The 405 South is still open. I don't know if they changed their mind on the 405 South closure from the 101 to the Santa Monica Freeway, or if they just haven't got that done yet. The Ventura Freeway, I can tell you, is a parking lot. In between the Hollywood Freeway and, say, Calabasas, you don't move, especially on the eastbound side out of Calabasas towards the 405. So PCH will be heavy. The ripple effect is going to be horrific. We'll try and push in the ripple effect onto some of the other freeways, the 5, PCH. It's just going to be a horrible day for travel throughout all of Los Angeles. But that's Cassiano Road there. It's above East Sepulveda Fire Road. That's where the 2 homes are lost, we believe. 2 are on fire. It appeared to be that they were going to be destroyed and complete losses. We're hoping we don't see more of that. The wind has stayed about the same, maybe even calmed down a little bit. A lot of times this time of the morning, we'll see the winds pick up. We haven't seen that, and that is great news. But City Fire is hitting this with everything they have, I believe, as far as the aircrafts are concerned. I think they might have taken everything off of the Creek Fire and moved them down here, as well as a few of the county ships. Feels an hour. Yeah, well, it's the 50 to 70 mile an hour winds that kill you in the helicopter. Trust me, getting rid of 2,000 pounds when you're the pilot, you love that because it's the weight that always kills you. So you know that when you drop the water, you've just got rid of 2,000 pounds. You can reduce power and you're going to climb no matter what the winds are. That's always a fortunate thing. But with the winds and downdrafts, before you drop, you're always concerned because you're very, very heavy and you can't just pull power because you're at your limit sometimes. That's the issue. If something happens, you drop your water even if it's not on the right spot because getting rid of all that weight is the issue. But I can tell you, we have never had this much trouble with air attack. Air attack is overhead, and this guy just sounds like he's completely flustered. He doesn't know how to handle the situation, and so what he's saying is, just get out. We've been pushed all the way up, to Van Nuys, and we've been back to an altitude in an area that really, unfortunately, makes it extremely difficult for us to get in there. What I don't like with what I see right now from this spot as we push in is that thick black smoke. because that's usually an indication that the homes really started to take off. But as I mentioned, it's just the location of this fire with air attack overhead and that space, the airspace above us is where some of the airliners will come down and make their approaches into LAX, and we're just not getting an air attack guy that seems like he's really familiar with doing this and working with us very well. So we've been pushed off, I don't know, now 10 miles to the north at 6,000 feet, which makes it unfortunately extremely difficult to show you those homes. But it looked to me like we had more black smoke popping up, and that's unfortunate. Yeah, I think in some respects maybe they are. I mean, we're now 10 miles to the north looking south at 7,000 feet, and we really like to get in there and show you what is happening, so it's extremely frustrating for us. Progress, I guess, a little bit. I want to show you, give you a wide shot of the fire, though, and it looks to me like there's still some pretty dark smoke coming out of that, and we have a larger area that's on fire, so a little progress maybe, but overall this is a huge battle. Let's look at the 405, since we have the chance and we're so far to the north, Kevin. No, come towards us, Kevin. I want to show the 405 south. And I can tell you it looks like it pushed into the Sepulveda Pass there. The 405 freeway southbound is still open. Take sky map off and come down towards us. And you'll see the 405 southbound has not been closed at the 101 yet. That's about what we're over. And the 405 southbound has remained open. So maybe they changed their mind on that. Go back to the fire. You know, I would love to look at this, Leslie, and say they're making progress, but I don't see it. I mean, from this location, you know, maybe some progress as far as those homes that we saw, but I'm really concerned about those homes right now on Casiano because I see more black smoke. And give me a wide shot, Kevin. I mean, that's just much more than 100 acres. I mean, I don't know. Maybe two. I'm not really good at guessing size, to be honest with you. But that is a huge loom up, and that gives you some perspective. You know, that's 405 and Wilshire Boulevard off to your left down there. That's the Sepulveda Pass. Getty Center is right there underneath that thick black smoke. I'm not sure that I would call it a lot of progress from what we saw from early this morning, except for the fact we're not seeing a lot of flames right up to the homes, but I'm not sure there's not a lot of flames right up to the homes underneath that smoke. Good shot. Tankers. I have some. Yep. Philip. Some new information if you have me there, Philip. couple interesting aspects if you guys have a moment. Yeah, we just got some new information, and you asked me this question. I gave you my best answer that I didn't think they would bring in the tankers. Well, guess what? I don't think they made much progress here, and they are bringing in 4 S2s. I can't remember or recall the last time they took tankers into a fire that was burning in this area. You know, they're going to bring them in, though. They're going to make phos check drops, and that may be one of the reasons that air attack was so assistant that we get so far away. Another interesting aspect, this is just fascinating to me. The 405 southbound is wide open from the 118 down to the 101. And the Ventura Freeway eastbound out of Calabasas, which originally started to load up, is almost empty. There are no delays on the Ventura Freeway eastbound out of Woodland Hills until you get to about Balboa in Encino. That's lighter than normal. So here's what's happened. It's sort of like Carmageddon. Everybody knows this 405 is being shut down, or it may be completely. Everybody knows that getting to work is not going to happen, and so everybody is staying home. I really believe that's what's happening. It's fascinating to see a 405 wide open from the 118 down to the 101 on a work day. And to see the Ventura Freeway eastbound, which is usually jammed up out of Woodland Hills to the 405, moving well for the most part until you get into Encino. So it seems to me that's what's happened here. The word is out. The freeway's closed. It's a real good excuse not to drive at all. They have to use another route. They're going to be heavy, like you mentioned, on the Santa Monica Freeway. On the 1, PCH is an alternate. But folks have avoided the 405 of the Ventura Freeway right now in the San Fernando Valley. We'll do what we can, you know. Wow, that is a great drop right there. Yeah, going into Burbank because they're landing to the north. Yep, I can see it. This thing's taking off, man. Some of those homes to the left and push in, right in there. Push in there. Give me the Sky Map 7, what street is that? Okay, take it off since it's not working, please. Can you reset it? almost as bad as aircraft. There's nothing you can do. JJ? I'm trying to get over to JJ. Here's an issue. Maybe after my next hit, we need, if we're going to get SkyMap 7 back and working, it's not working right now. If we're going to get it back, then we need to stow the camera and reset the system. So maybe after my next hit, they can be aware that we're going to need about 2 or 3 minutes with our camera shut down to try and get SkyMap back working. Yeah, it'll be a while before they climb up here, but maybe we can do a hit and then we'll wait for that. How many sky cranes we got here? A couple, huh? What are those homes on the left? Oh, remember that's the homes we were looking at earlier. That's a cool shot. Then tilt up, and then there are more homes down in there. Boy, look at that. There's homes right along that ridge line. Okay. Boy, this is we're not making any progress as far as I can tell. Stop. Yeah, this area really is. I haven't seen the S2s come in, which is they're out of San Bernardino. They're going to drop the FOS check. They can be extremely effective. They may drop on the homes. I don't know if you've ever seen a home that's had a FOS check drop on it, but it is bright red, and that is some gooey, ugly stuff to get off. But when they're going to save a home, they will do it. We just don't see them bring those into this area or this type of terrain surrounded by homes all that often. And we're also are going to see the super scoopers. They have made a couple of drops. They are effective and they are working. Not nearly as effective as the helicopters. I want to go to the left a little bit. I remember earlier this morning, if you were with us, we were watching this house from a different perspective. Push in there, and we were looking down. We saw the people sitting on their balcony, and they were looking at the fire. Well, now if we take a look, I think we're just changing our shutter speed there for a moment. If you take a look, that fire is starting to burn up that ridge line. That's the worry. And if we tilt up, there are more homes right in this area on the top of your screen. They are all in jeopardy. And this is counterintuitive a little bit, but I thought about this. You know, we had almost record rain last year. And you think, boy, that's great for the fire season, right? Well, not really, because, you know, I had to go ahead and clear my backyard twice because it rains so late in the season. And then you get all that underbrush that grows, and that's almost like kindling to some of the bigger trees and the bigger brush. So I think that has a lot factored in. You would think, wow, record rain, we're not going to have such a big fire season, and it just doesn't work that way once things dry out, and especially once you get the winds. But I want to give you one wide perspective here and show you this fire continues to grow very quickly. That's a lot of smoke, some black smoke. We know at least 2 homes were lost. More than likely more. It looked to me like at least another home was going to catch on fire in that area. And that wide shot there gives you a little perspective. But thank goodness, once again, there is not much wind. If there was, we'd certainly be losing a lot of homes, and they wouldn't be able to bring in the tankers. The tankers have a much lower threshold as far as wind is concerned in what they can work in compared to the helicopters. And we even saw yesterday up in the Thomas Fire in Ventura that the wind was so high they grounded some of the helicopters as well. If we had that today, we'd really be in trouble. So we can be thankful for at least that right now. But this is a huge blaze. It's got to be well over 100 acres, and it is probably threatening at least hundreds, if not more than hundreds of homes. Yeah, it's difficult, if not impossible. You know, you just can't clear big trees next to houses. I remember in the drought, we were talking about the fact that if you only watered once a day, some of the trees around your homes, they may die. If you only water for 5 minutes, which was they were talking about doing that around your home, and then you'd really have a problem. Push in right there. You see that black smoke? That is not good. Burning up that ridge line towards those homes, that's where they're concentrating all of their effort right now. But those tall trees catch on fire. Then off to the left are homes. Right in the middle of there may be a home. Boy, we are really looking at a situation in which we may lose a lot of houses. I want to come out to a wide shot just once again before we push back in and give you a little perspective. You know, we started this morning, and of course everything starts from a small fire, but we started with a 2 to 3 acre fire that they thought they'd be able to get a handle on, or at least we thought that, and then it grew to this very quickly. I think it was it around 5 o'clock this morning? You guys might have the exact time that it broke out. But this is frightening. This is really frightening. There are a lot of homes here. Has the potential to start to look a lot like what we saw up in Ventura, and that would be sad. There they are. There's some water. Yeah, we do have some, although we're not compressing the shot, so it's not like we're looking from a long distance at another angle. That you can see some, well, there's a water drop. Man, look at that. You know, you go back, that's great, isn't it? You go back 15 years, and we didn't have all these aircraft. We had some, but we just didn't have these big of aircraft that are that effective. We would lose houses. But they do have structure protection. You see the water being shot out from the side of the home there? But that's a lot of hot embers coming up that hill. This isn't compressed, so this is an actual distance you would see from our angle. If this fire spreads to those trees, then all bets are off because it'll be really difficult to save that house. But they do have units in place. Tilt up a little bit. There are many more homes right along that ridge line, though, that street that runs up there. So there's access from both sides, I believe, to this home, but not to the other homes. This has a fire road if you come towards us a little bit, and you can take the access there. But if you tilt up, I believe that's the end of the street almost, and those other homes will only have access from what would be the south side. So all that smoke coming up, that is coming right up to the firefighters, right up to the homes. That's thick black smoke on the top of your screen, and I'm going to be surprised, tragically and unfortunately, if we don't lose more houses. We know we lost 2. It will be a bit of a shock if we don't lose more, just considering the size now. If we give you, there's another drop. They are hammering this. Boy, there's a sky crane. 2,000 gallons, man. That is impressive. I just want to pull out for a moment, though, just to give you a scope and perspective of the size of this fire. I mean, you've been with us this morning. You saw it when it was very, very small. This is a horrible area to have a fire like this, and it is traveling uphill. I don't know. We looked at that spot earlier, and I told you the residents were out there on the balcony looking down. Wasn't that big a deal because it had to go down that canyon and then back up, but when it starts to come up, it's a huge deal because it travels up those hillsides very, very quickly towards those homes. That's an awful lot of black smoke, and it just does not look good from here. We want JJ. JJ? JJ, you with me? JJ, you with me? Push in tight. I want to see if we're losing a house in there. Is newscopter up? I'd like to try. We've got about another 40 minutes because we're not burning very much fuel at altitude. I'd like to reset the sky map, though, so that we can show the streets, but we need to shut down to do that. Oh, boy, look at that. All right, newscopter's up. Shut this thing down. We need that sky map working again. Wow, this is just getting ugly, huh? Are you talking to Air 7 or newscopter? Are you sure? Because we're trying to reset our camera so we can get the sky map working. They must be taking their shot. Okay, we're trying to get our sky map reset. They just did it. It was closed for 405 South.
Where are you going, Pollard? Where are you going? You going off to the east? There you are. Okay. Unfortunately, there's no way I can tell what streets those things might be threatening. Is it a Roscoe area thing? Is it going that high? Are you hearing anything? This guy's going up there? Okay. Yeah. I got to listen to O2 Air Attack and to SoCal. It's gotten up to Linda Flora. Yeah. And Sky 5 to desk. It's difficult for us to tell where this thing is going, but it looks like it's made it up to Linda Flora. If it goes any further, it'll be up to Roscommare. .405 is shut down from the 101. Sky 5 to traffic. You copy? I'm trying to get traffic. Traffic, yep. Yeah, 405 freeway now shut down southbound lanes from the 101 freeway. We've got traffic that is trapped on the 101, on the 405 freeway. I don't know if they're going to slowly let those guys through and try and get them off at Sepulveda or something like this, but they're taking all the southbound 405 traffic off, and they're diverting it onto the 101 freeway. Right. Yes. Whoa. Yes. That's right. Bad news for the firefighters and for the residents on the ground here. Fire is really increasing right now. It's starting to really take off. We're seeing a big plume of smoke also associated with that fire, which means a lot of vegetation now going up in smoke. And we just saw a fire retardant drop. We believe that was probably from one of the helicopters. We haven't seen the fixed wing come in quite yet. However, we did hear that they are en route. Let me check that. I'm seeing a fixed wing aircraft right now. So we may have some of those medium-sized Phos-Check droppers in the area right now to put some of that fire retardant on. It's kind of a pinkish material that goes down on the ground. It slows down the advance of the fire. It allows the firefighters to get in there and perhaps get an upper hand on the flame. So again, we have 4 fixed-wing aircraft in here. We just saw a drop of one of the fire retardant lines to the area. It looks as though the fire is marching a little bit now to the east. That's where most of the fuel is still yet to burn. Now, we're pretty clear that it is up across Moraga and Linda Flora. The next major ridge over there would be Roscommare, which is going to be a difficult thing for the firefighters because that's going to be a steep ride up along the ridge there, where we have a lot of homes that are in the area. Now, likewise, the 405 freeway, we were talking about that before, now has been completely shut down at the 101. So if you're coming southbound on the 405, they will take you off and put you on the 101 freeway. There still is traffic on the 405. It's unclear if they're taking those people off at Mulholland or allowing some through right now. So the 405 freeway, as we were talking about before, was going to be a bad option, and is certainly a bad option for the people who have been trapped on it right now. So 405 freeway now is not an option at all for anyone either north or south. Looks as though they've got it shut down at the 10 freeway on the south side and the 101 on the north side. Water dropping helicopters have moved into the area. They've got both the medium and the heavy helicopters. Likewise, the Quebecs, the Super Scoopers, the twin engine fixed-wing water dropping aircraft. We saw them operating in before, and now we've got the Phosgec dropping air tankers in the area as well. So they're throwing everything they possibly can from both the air and on the ground to this, but the fire, again, as you just said, it seems to be growing in size right now. It is burning on the east side of the 405 and continuing to march eastbound on the 405. There were reports of perhaps spot fires on the west side. We could not confirm that, nor could we see that from our vantage point in Sky 5. So again, it's a tough fight for the firefighters, and it is certainly not over yet. Now back to you in the studio. Sky 5, go ahead. Roger, 7 bars gives us better than an hour overhead, perhaps an hour and 15. Really? Vegetation explosion or otherwise? Roscoe Mayor. It's a lower street. I messed that one up then, didn't I? Yeah. But was Moraga between those two? Okay. Okay. Roscoe Mayor. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. And Linda Flora, it dead ends back there, doesn't it? Yeah. Go ahead, traffic. Yeah, we got both. We'll try and get that for you here. Okay. Do we have any traffic on the 405 freeway still? Yeah, southbound. Okay. How about closer to us? Anything there? I can't tell. There's no cars on that freeway, right? Anyway, I know it's going to be a tilt almost all straight down, but okay, traffic, that is the 405 freeway southbound. As you can see, they're taking it all off on the 101 freeway, not allowing anything going further south than the 101. Yeah, it looks like that happened. No, that's quite all right. Unfortunately, on that southbound or the south side of the 405 freeway, spot fires just, they've got us so far away that oh yeah. Hey, Seven, I didn't catch that. What were they allowing you to do? Looks like we got a drop All right, roger that. What are they saying, 65 for the top? Roger. Yeah. Did he drop? Okay, I think it's a little high. They got one, that's two I see that are orbiting over this thing. He may be going underneath. Well, uh, 75, sure. I don't think there'd be a problem. Anything above 6,500, we're good, right? All right. I'm sorry, say again? I'm ready. Yep. Right. Okay. Roger that. 1,000 of Linda Flora? 1,000 Linda Flora, okay. And what do they have going on there? Is it immediate threats? Yeah. Yeah. That's good news. And Sky 5 to desk, we have, I don't know if you're copying this, but the fire's making a run on to Linda Flores, the 1,000 block. They've got firefighters in place there. They're going to try and battle those blazes before it gets up to the homes there. That's right. Roger. Okay, after the top of 9, we're going to be heading down. We're going to get your information before we come off station. Thanks. It looks like the 405 southbound opened up again. I'm sorry. Yeah, traffic. There's cars on the 405 freeway southbound. We got some coming northbound as well, right? A couple? Just a few. They may be putting those people on at like Skirball or Mulholland. Yeah. So it looks like they've opened up the 405 southbound. I don't know. I'm right over the top of it. I can't tell. Yeah. Stand by. That's right. For a while, both the north and south were closed. We're looking at the southbound lanes. It looks like they've opened up the southbound lanes of the 405 from the 101 freeway. That's good news. Now, just a moment ago, we saw some traffic coming about northbound, but it appears that's just a little bit of trickle traffic that was coming on from Skirball Center. It looks like the Sepulveda Pass northbound from the 405 on the 405 from, for example, the 10 freeway is shut down. So we've got some traffic that's now southbound. However, it's a mess once you come up, as you come up to the 101 freeway. They had it shut down for a while. So the 405 freeway coming along the floor of the San Fernando Valley is a mess. However, once you get to the 101 freeway, if you're going to continue southbound to the 405, they are allowing you to do so. Back to you. look back at the, oh, are they hot on our picks? Yeah. Take a quick look out there, the 405 freeway. Along the floor of the San Fernando Valley, it looks completely shut down. Are they shutting it down from like the 118? Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Yeah. I can too. That's it. Yeah, it's open, huh? Yeah, it's completely open, or are they just letting a few cars? Yeah. Roger. Yeah. That's a good question. I didn't catch his initial I did not catch his initial altitude. Go ahead, traffic. I'm sorry. Somebody stepped on you. No, the 405 southbound is open from the 101. 405 southbound open from the 101. The whole freeway is open, correct? Southbound only. Not the. We're seeing some traffic on the northbound lanes, but I think that's only coming away from like Skirball and Mulholland. That's not coming over from all the way from the hill. Yeah, there's some getting on there, but those people have the freeway to themselves, right? Yes. Yeah, go ahead, traffic. I'm sorry, yeah, we can't see that far down there. Previously, we saw it, them taking them off at Santa Monica. We heard that they were going to be taking them off from the 10 or just stopping people from going northbound on the 405 from the 10. I'm sorry. Yeah, it looks like it's still Santa Monica. All right. Coming to us in a minute, roger that. That's right. The firefight continues here, and it is just as bad as it has ever been. As you can see, when we push in, it appears that we just had one of those fire retardant drops by one of the air tankers. We have air tankers, we have heli-tankers, regular helicopters, also those fixed-wing super scoopers. So every aerial asset that is available is being thrown at this fire right now. That is burning on the east side of the 405 freeway. Some of the streets that are affected, Casiano, we've lost a couple homes on Casiano. Moraga, we think that there's some homes that have been destroyed there. Likewise, the fire is going up to Linda Flora, and we understand firefighters are up there doing structure protection. They're worried about the uphill flames that are going up there. The winds are blowing about 15 miles an hour to the south right now. Firefighters are on the scene doing what they can for structure protection. 50 acres was the last estimate, but from our vantage point in Sky 5, that has probably doubled overhead. In Sky 5, this is Derek Bell now. Back to you in the studio. What are you looking for on O2? Yeah, it's 2V5 on O2. Go ahead. Right over the 405 101, 6,700. Yes, indeed. Great shot. Sky 5 to dusk on the scrambler. Looks like they've moved away from this story. Did you want us to land? I don't know if you saw that drop right there. We believe that was up on Linda Vista. That's where they've got some immediate threats right now. It's obscured right now by smoke and by how far that they've kept us away from it, unfortunately. I keep saying Linda Vista. It's Linda Flora, Linda Flora. It's the 1000 block. It's right where it comes to an end. I believe that would be north of Bellagio. And did you want us to get fuel and turn around, come right back? Okay, on our way down. All right, TV4, TV5 is heading down to get some fuel. Roger. And SoCal helicopter TV5. SoCal Captor TV5. Burbank Tower helicopter TV5. We tried to coordinate this through SoCal. We're directly overhead at descending out of 6,300. We'd like to go to Whiteman for landing with Bravo. I'm sorry, TV5. Uh, 0270, we're going northbound to Whiteman. Roger, head down. Do we have any departures coming off of 3-3? Perfect. I'm sorry, I had her off.
Thanks, Todd.
That was 24-6, 24-6. Yeah, 4 times, and we were with the entire group of ships up there. He read off a list to us, and 3 times I wasn't on it, and 3 times I corrected him. Thanks, sir. LA Ventura helicopter TV5 is with you, 4 stacks inbound for landing 30 with Bravo. 25. Dust off the car, no charge.
He's okay.